Hey you all, Carpetbagger here, coming to you live from the South, more specifically St. Augustine, Florida. And we're gonna start the day by checking out this wonderful pirate treasure museum here that sits right across from the historic Castillo de San Marcos, the fort that still stands here in St. Augustine. I've been into this pirate museum before. It is a very cool experience, and I wanted to check back in and take a look at some of them pirates. So please, follow me. Alright, walking into the Pirate Museum. We start out in Port Royal. So scatter your enemies with a blunderbuss. Blunderbuss, of course, these big, high-powered powder rifles that would give a big blast to your enemies. And we have some of the smaller flintlock pistols that would hold one shot. Sometimes pirates would strap hundreds of them to their body, so they would always make sure they had a loaded gun. Some other piratey tools. We see a grappling hook that be thrown and hooked onto a ship so that they can board it. A boarding axe, which I don't know, I guess you just get on a ship and start hacking away. And here we go into pirate surgery. You see the surgical kit right there. The surgeon up here, the pirate surgeon, is hard at work. And what is he hard at work at? Hard at work at pulling this guy's eyeball out. I guess he has an infected eye. He's trying to be a brave pirate, trying not to get too upset about having his eye pulled out. He's biting down really hard on that leather belt. He is making sure that he's good and sloshed by chugging rum before surgery. I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think you should drink a bottle of rum before you have eye surgery. But what do I know? I'm not a doctor, and this guy clearly is. See all those wonderful pirate medical instruments, tooth extractor, just all these wonderful things that pirates could use to medically remove parts of your body. He has a good old amputation knife up there. Pretty much chop any part of your body off that you don't need anymore. Here is Sir Francis Drake. He was a pirate, although he was under the employ of England. He was referred to the Spanish, who he terrorized as the Dragon, or El Draco. And this is pretty insane. This is a piece of wood from Sir Francis Drake's ship. It's preserved in water there. You can actually see there are live snails in there with the timber. I don't know if that helps preserve it somehow, or I don't know, but there are snails in there. That is a piece of a real pirate ship. In this room we see portraits of all these famous and infamous pirates. This is Andrew Ransom. He was a pirate here in St. Augustine, sentenced to death, but when the noose snapped around his neck, it was seen as God's interference, and he was allowed to live. This is Robert Searles. Apparently he is the reason that there is still a stone fort here in St. Augustine. He and his crew of pirates raided St. Augustine and just brutally murdered people. Here's some wax figures. This is actually a meeting between Sir Francis Drake, the British pirate that terrorized the Spanish, and Robert Searles. He is the one who had the bloody raid on St. Augustine. See these pirate books right here. See some sort of interactive exhibit. It says, within the pages of this book are hidden relics from each of the 12 legendary pilots. After you find 6, you can open the secret compartment to discover the pirate soul treasure map. Open Blackbeard's map. Oh, there is a piece of Blackbeard's beard. We definitely want to collect that. Let's go to the drunken pirate, Captain Morgan. It says Morgan loves rum. That's not a surprise. It says collect the label to learn more about him. There's his rum label. In this next room, we actually step onto an actual pirate ship. Here you have to take a sniff and guess what kind of cargo pirates were carrying. So let's get a good sniff here. I don't know. Let's say flowers. Oh, leather. That was not a good guess. Ooh, they're carrying, I think, lemons. It smells like Lysol. Lime juice. Pretty close, I'd say. Chocolate. I think that's chocolate. Chocolate? Butter rum. Yeah, it's something sweet. Something sweet, not completely ridiculous. That's flowers. It's flowers or perfume. Let's say perfume. I'm really dumb, apparently. It's an interactive cannon. So we gotta fire the cannon. I guess this will light it. Let's try this cannon, so we can get this one lit. Oh, there we go. This one's going. Fire! Nice. Ship's also got a blunderbuss mounted to the side so we can shoot any invading pirates. What's in this closet here? Oh, of course there's a skeleton in the closet. This fellow looks like he took a cannonball to the guts and it did not turn out well for him. Sorry. Here is an 1850s Jolly Rogers. That is a pirate flag that would have flown over an actual pirate ship. Of course, these were almost used as a way to give warning so that people knew a pirate attack was imminent so they could make the decision to surrender peacefully if they wanted. Here we see a pirate's sleeping quarters. Apparently a pirate doesn't sleep too easy because he has a blunderbuss waiting and ready to fire. But look closely, you can see that each breath, his chest rises and sinks. Sleeping, dreaming of plunder and booty. Of course, for various reasons, pirates were always not popular by city governments, so pirates would be executed. Here's a pirate in a pirate cage where they would hang their body in a small cage and let birds peck off all their flesh. The severed yet animated head of Blackbeard the pirate.
In Queen Anne's War. We're here about the true story of one Edward Teach, also known as Blackbeard, the most dreaded of all pirates. Now there's many a tale to be told about the golden age of piracy, and I'm just the one to be telling. It's said that I be the most famous pirate in history, but my reign of terror lasted only 2 years.
Now here's a little Easter egg that a lot of people probably do not know or realize here at the Pirate Museum. This Blackbeard's head, this animatronic Blackbeard's head, is actually voiced by Ron Schneider, who was the voice and portrayed Dreamfinder in the original Journey Through Imagination ride at Epcot. So a little bit of Disney history preserved here in the Pirate Museum. This is the garrote. It's kind of an alternate to hanging when it comes to execution. Instead of hanging someone from a tree or a gallows, you would just sit them in this chair and then squeeze their neck with that rope until they were dead. Alright, heading into Shipwreck Island. See some pirates here at work burying some treasure. And look at this. we have the opportunity to touch a 400-year-old treasure chest. You don't get this opportunity every day, so I'm gonna touch it. I love the treasure. The treasure's from a ship called the Atocha that crashed off of the Florida Keys in 1622. Was recovered 350 years later. You see the mermaid sculpture there, some doubloons, and that very decorative skull back there. An opportunity to lift a gold bar. It's that chunk of pirate gold in there. Actually has a good amount of weight to it. It's a box of pirate silver coins. See there all the different coins. Some of them have been decorroded. So this is the only surviving treasure chest that was used by a pirate. It belonged to Thomas II. You can see kind of inside there, very ornate chest. I put a mirror behind there so you can see the locking mechanism right there in the middle. And there's the key for the chest. You can see this pirate here absolutely reveling in his treasure, or the spoils of piracy. There's a section on Hollywood pirates. It's where you can decode fact from fiction. You can see like the linear on the skull. This jacket here was in the movie Captain Blood, worn by Errol Flynn. And of course, Errol Flynn, one of the most famous cinematic pirates of all time. These are some weapons used in the Pirates of the Caribbean movie. Both these guns here were used by Captain Barbossa in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Here's a softball uniform used in the movie Hook. This says the Pirates on it. Of course, one of the most famous pirate skeletons in all movies was One-Eyed Willie from the Goonies. The centerpieces of the movie collection here is Jack Sparrow's actual sword from Pirates of the Caribbean. It was used by Johnny Depp. And if you look down at the bottom, you see a piece, the cursed Aztec gold from the first movie, Curse of the Black Pearl. Up here we have an animated cell from the classic Disney Peter Pan movie. And just below it we see one of Captain Hook's actual hooks. This was a screen use prop used in the 2003 film Peter Pan. And here's a replica of the hook used by Captain Hook in the movie Hook. What a hook. Now, I am a big fan of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, and I do love that final line of the first movie. Now bring me that horizon. You get your own piratey pressed penny here. You have the insignia from the Pirates and Treasure Museum, a mermaid, skull and crossbones, or a ship. Of course, if you want a Carpetbagger pressed penny, just check my Etsy shop in the description of this video. It says 2 clicks are enough to try it. 3 clicks or more, prepare to buy it. So if we want to try out these guns, we get 2 clicks. So 1, 2, and 1 more click, and we have to pay money for it. So we're gonna put it back. Rosebud. Arr. Yeah, they're pretty firm on that 2 clicks rule. I do wonder if that is out of worry that the guns will be worn out, or if the people working here just cannot stand the constant clicking. You can see that sign right there. This is the oldest wooden schoolhouse in the USA. It's still standing. Now, we all know St. Augustine is America's oldest city, being in continuous operation from the mid-1500s to today. And this here is the oldest wooden schoolhouse in America, and they're the oldest wooden building standing here in St. Augustine. This was built in 1716 and still stands here today. There's something very special on the inside, Believe it or not, we're going in there to see some robots. Look up there, you can see a teacher peeking out the window. Here is the schoolhouse kitchen. We'll take a peek in there first. You can see the cafeteria, the lunch lady, if you will, preparing some delicious vegetables for the students. And here is the old wooden schoolhouse itself. I'm gonna head inside and see the school children there getting ready to learn for the day. The teacher up there in front with a child in a dunce cap. And here's the coolest part of the old schoolhouse. You gotta press this button right here. It says count to 20 and watch the professor and Johnny come to life and tell you about school life in the early days. Oh, there we go.
Welcome to the old school and to the mid-1800s. I say that because this is how the nation's oldest wooden schoolhouse looked at that time, and our clothing is of that period.
We was dressed this way in 1931 by graduates of the class of 1864 during the class reunion.
That's right, Johnny. They also decorated this little school the way they remembered it when they were here. The school itself was built sometime before 1763.
During the first Spanish period.
Very good, Johnny. The school is built of cypress and cedar with handmade nails and wooden pegs.
The first pupils were Menorcan. They came here to learn English. Now we learn arithmetic and other stuff as well as reading and writing.
Some boys and girls learn their arithmetic, Johnny. Johnny did not do his homework. He hasn't learned his 6 times multiplication table, and that's why he's wearing the dunce cap.
But Professor, I had to chop wood last night to bring to school.
I see.
It costs 12.5 cents a day for us to get our learning. If our parents don't have money, we bring wood for the fire or food for the professor and his family.
And what do we call that kind of arrangement, Johnny?
Barter system?
That's correct. Well, you do know your economics. However, you will wear that dunce cap until you learn your 6 times table.
Boy, at this school taught fishing, I'd make an A easy.
Young man, this is no laughing matter. Hold your tongue or you know where you'll go.
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
Sometimes the children are unruly in class. Then they must spend time under the stairway there until they decide to behave. We call it the dungeon.
Under the staircase here, we have the dungeon where unruly students are kept. Seems like a wonderful place to put a child. Look at that guy. It says, do not touch the unruly student, he bites. Oh, so he's like some sort of like ghoul under the stairs. Yeah, it clarifies right there that the dunce cap was not placed on the head of a bad child, but instead a slow learner. So the dunce cap was just used to point out which kids were not so smart, which is seems humiliating.
You know your economics. However, you will wear that dunce cap until you...
It says the heavy chain is to anchor the building down at times of strong winds. You can see that giant chain strung through the rafters there. It's a little wishing well here where you can throw some coins. Look down there. So the coins go into an underwater pool. I can actually see a giant gold doubloon floating on the water surface. Appreciate you guys joining me here today as we checked out both the Pirates and Treasure Museum as well as the oldest schoolhouse museum. Got to see a talking Blackbeard and a talking child in a dunce cap. Always love to see these animatronics as I go on my travels. If you'd like to see other places I've been, roadside attractions, amusement parks, museums, haunted houses, and other fun stuff, please check the interactive map in the description. If you'd like to help support the channel, consider buying a t-shirt. Consider donating to Patreon. A $3 more donation will get you sent a postcard once a month. Also consider buying that smashed penny in my Etsy shop. All that information is in the description. But until next time, this one's in the bag.